no way, ain't no how. I'ma let somebody come and shut me down. Hold my own, I'ma stand my ground. I'ma rep my city and salute my town. Said ain't no way, ain't no how. I'ma let somebody come and shut me down. I'ma hold my own, I'ma stand my ground. And I'm ready for whatever, and I still stand proud. Ain't no way. Who you think you kidding, dude? Never thought that I would do.
What up, though? It is your boy Mike D, host of Wrestling from the 313. We are here Tuesday. It's live. We on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch for another cool episode. As always, this episode is brought to you by WSN. Download the app on Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku. Also, go to the WrestlingSociety.com. Go check out the website. Sign up, get you a free account. Check out all the cool wrestling content from documentaries, TV shows, wrestling promotions. They got their shows on there. Got a lot of cool stuff. They also got a Patreon page. You can check that out. But if you want to see all the exclusive stuff, check out all the membership options they got. And as always, go to wrestlingfromthe313.shop. Go get you a hoodie. Go get you a t-shirt, skull cap, whatever. Just represent Wrestling from the 313 and show some love. So my guests today are from the Brothers of Discussion podcast. We got John and we got Aaron. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Mike? It's good to see you again, man.
Good
What's going on, bro? How's it going?
Good. So we're gonna get right into it. For those that may not know who you guys are, how did the Brothers of Discussion podcast get started?
Yeah, John.
So basically, Aaron and I and Francisco, who's our third partner in the podcast, who wasn't able to make it today. We've been friends probably 30 plus years, I'd say now. I met Aaron in the 7th grade. I met Francisco when I was in like the 3rd grade. We've always just been big wrestling fans together. And one night we said, hey, we should do a podcast. We get together and we talk wrestling anyway. Why not see if other people would want to join us or enjoy what we talk about?
Definitely. Did you want to add anything onto that, Aaron?
Yeah, when John and I used to do a show years ago, and then I kind of had my own show. So they kind of had the idea and then kind of brought me into the fold, which was cool because we kind of all vibed, like he said, for a long time. So it was a nice idea to kind of get it together. And everybody has a podcast, and podcasts are fun, and wrestling podcasts in particular. The only thing I really listen to other than music. But we wanted to do something a little different. That's why we like doing the interviews. We have the lit matches. We kind of do something different, a different take on it, because we really focus more on nostalgia. We do watch the new stuff. We don't really talk new stuff, but the nostalgia is kind of where it's at for us because we're kind of old heads. I'll keep it real with you.
Yeah, we're getting up there.
That's what's up. So you guys, I'm an old head myself. Who were some of your favorites when you guys were getting into wrestling?
Well, I mean, my all-time favorite is Mr. Perfect. Just the cockiness of him. I don't know. We actually talk about this on the podcast a few times. Is that something as a child drew me to the heels more than faces? I mean, I loved Hogan. Of course, I was a little Hulkamaniac at 7-8 years old, but there was something about Mr. Perfect, Rick the Model Martel, Ted DiBiase, guys like this that just they stood out to me for some reason. It was like, oh, I like this guy. Maybe it's because I'm kind of a real life heel myself. You might not be able to tell right now, but I like to push buttons and stir the pot a little bit.
You know, we're from Allentown, PA, and WWF in the 80s and 90s, even the 70s, they would run their circuit through Allentown, Hamburg, Reading, New York. So growing up, you know, I got to see Yokozuna and Undertaker in 92, I think it was, at Ag Hall in Allentown, or maybe 93. And I got to see Bruno Sammartino in the late 80s. Like, it was cool. So I was fortunate to see that as a kid. But for me, Bret Hart was the guy that kind of really put me up and over. I was always a wrestling fan. I was a Hulkamaniac. But when I got to be That's everybody got one guy. There's their guy that got him into wrestling, and then their favorite wrestler. Hulk was the guy that hooked me because I'm an 80s baby, but Bret Hart, that was the dude. He was the first real guy he could go toe to toe with anybody. And that was the guy that
I'm
put
gonna
me
say
over.
this. I'm gonna say the same. Hulk Hogan was the one that drew me in, and then it was Mr. Perfect after that for me.
Yeah, and I would have to agree too. Hulk Hogan was the guy that drew me into wrestling too, and it's like to hear you guys say that Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart were your favorites. It was just cool for me to see that transition with Bret Hart going from a tag team wrestler, then being the Intercontinental Champion, and how he kind of elevated that title, and going on to becoming the WWF Champion, and he elevated that championship, and just to see how he grew. Yeah, I think it was just cool. And then seeing Mr. Perfect, like you said, just the cockiness and just like the vignettes that he would do when like he would throw
So
the
good.
football to himself or whatever, and then the basketball stuff that he would do. So it was kind of like he kind of fit. He was perfect. You know what I'm saying?
It
Like he was
really was.
one of them. They both were like the top ring technicians at that time. You know what I'm saying? Anytime that you had a match with them, it was going to be a good match. And if they had a match together, those two, it was going to be a classic. So yeah. And
You
Shawn
brought up a
Michaels
good
was the,
point. Real quick, you brought up a good point, Mike. Like, is Bret Hart the first guy to ever do that? To really like start off as a tag team guy and work his way up? Like, I can't think of anybody
I
else
want to
now that you
say,
bring it up.
I
He's
want to
probably the
say,
first one to
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying? Maybe that's why everybody loved him so much, because he was the first guy to like really claw from the bottom and like really work his way all the way up. You know what I mean?
And we
yeah,
always say that Bret
Yeah,
Hart and Cameron are the only two people that I ever seen, two men, to make Pink look cool.
that's facts. It's facts.
right. Yeah, and I want to say Shawn Michaels was after Bret Hart,
Yeah,
you know,
for
being
sure.
a
Yeah.
Yep.
tag team wrestler and then, you know,
Hmm.
elevating to like superstar status.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 80s and the 90s, I think when it comes to building wrestling, I think that those were the good times. But I
Hmm.
think the attitude era is really like catapulted, and it helped wrestling get to what it is today.
It made
Because
it
100%.
mainstream.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It was basically like the new Jerry Springer, if you want to put it like that. That's what
Yeah, for sure.
it was.
For sure.
I
So
mean,
oh, go ahead.
absolutely. With all the TNA, as we're going to air quote that TNA, and
Right.
just the wild stuff going on, and then also like they kind of formatted it like Jerry Springer show, where there was lots of short little bits, and then they would jump to the next thing and do. They made it for younger men. The attention span shorter, so we have to have something exciting, segment after segment after segment, something quick and appealing.
Definitely. So what inspired the name Brothers of Discussion, and what does it represent for your show?
So I came up with the name because I'm the best out of all three of us, by the way, just so you know. Um, it, it's I honestly thought of it because obviously there's the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and Undertaker, but they're not really brothers. They're kayfabe brothers,
Yeah,
and the three of us are kayfabe brothers. Yeah, I mean I love them like family, but we're not blood, but
Mm.
we're brothers.
yeah,
And we figured, hey, there's a good pun on the name. We're kayfabe brothers. We're going to be over here discussing a whole bunch of stuff. So it's kind of how I came up with the name. And as soon as I said it, both of these guys, I told them the idea. They're like, yep, that's it. That's the name. That's good.
Yeah.
that's what's up. You want to add anything, Aaron?
Yeah, our old show was a play on words too. We were the Brothers in Armbar. That was our
Yeah,
old
we were.
show. So, I mean, that's kind of like, even I had a show with my brother Matt, and it was Beyond the Mat with two T's. So we were always kind of looking for names that were fun. Even Lit Match, like the logo is literally a lit match and two guys wrestling. So a play on words, just it kind of it's in our MO. It's every show we've ever done had something to do with that. Even every segment we have. What's your fantasy? You know, Every
Yeah.
bit we
The,
have
the
has a
only
play on
segment that
words.
we have that isn't like a play on words is the one where I take people's opinions and destroy them, called "Here's Where You're Wrong." Um, I'm that guy. I like to hear people's hot takes and then just tell them that they're wrong and explain to them why they're wrong. So that's fun for me, like real life heel, just like we said earlier.
That's what's up. We got some comments from Crandor Q from Friends of the Square Circle. We say, "What up? What no heads up over up? You're over." And he put, "Hey, no heads up. You're live. Hi, friends." Shout out
Well,
to
what's
Crandor.
up? Glad you could join
Creator
with us.
Q, Creator Q is a good dude.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, I know you guys been covering wrestling for a while. How do you think the wrestling landscape has changed since you started podcasting?
Ooh.
Well, since we started podcasting, I mean, it's there's competition now. Um, if you want to call it competition, or if you want to call it an alternative, I think a lot more eyes have been going on different promotions rather than just WWE for standing alone, which I love. I prefer WWE over AEW myself, but I love that AEW exists, and I love to see that style of match from time to time that they kind of put out a different style. So I like to see that as well. I also like the rise in TNA right now. I mean, they're definitely about to get bought by WWE. It doesn't. It's the only thing that makes sense right now with the way they're promoting all their stuff and giving NXT stars all their championships. Um,
Yeah,
got
real quick. What do you think about the whole crossover? I think it's cool, but I just hate that it's just so one sided, man. You know what I'm saying? It's no reason why that okay, if you have somebody from NXT win the TNA championship, why can't nobody from TNA win at least the North American championship or something? You know what I'm saying? To kind of make it like okay, we got something. It's like TNA NXT is getting all the W's, and it's like
well,
TNA is getting
Let me hop in real quick.
okay.
AEW did the same thing with TNA when Kenny Omega won the TNA championship and then lost it to Christian. The
That
difference
is true.
is Christian wrestled on TNA and eventually put the title on somebody else. And that, in my opinion, is what springboarded TNA to where they're at today. Without that first partnership with AEW and that rub with AEW and New Japan, because that's really what that was,
Mhm.
yeah.
without that, I don't think they would be where they are right now. I think that was super important for TNA. It really put a stamp on them that they were serious, which they should have been taken serious from the beginning. They lasted for so long. TNA
Oh,
it was LOL TNA forever, and you just
mhm.
waited for them to shut down, and they just never did. So as much as people want to talk shit about it, they stayed open longer than WCW. They
That's
stayed
true.
open longer than really any other, longer than Crockett, longer than any of the other big companies. And yeah, it
TW.
wasn't good. Yeah, exactly. So, and that's kind of where I'm at. And then the TNA thing, like you said, it's very one sided. Right now, it's WWE showing we're the big company. They're doing the same thing with AAA. They're going to do the
Well,
same thing with AAA.
what's
Look at
going
who
to
their champion
happen
is right now.
actually with this next NXT versus TNA pay per view coming up? It's the tag titles, winner takes all. It's the
Yeah,
Hardys versus the Dark State. Hardys are going to win. They're definitely getting the NXT Tag Champions
yeah,
championship. It doesn't make sense because they're putting the TNA tag titles up against the Dudleys like a month later.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So if
yeah,
you take that title away from the Dudleys and Hardys match, it means a little bit less because of the way they've been building that story.
yeah.
So it's
That's true.
they have to win, and then
Yeah.
the Dudleys can beat the Hardys for the NXT tag titles, and that puts those titles on both of their resumes to even more cement their legacies as two of the best tag teams ever. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's if I was booking, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's just like just even with the NXT versus TNA women's match. The women's or the TNA women's team is so terrible. Like you got Kalani Jordan, who wasn't even
Who's
the women's
NXT?
champion for 2 weeks. She's the captain, and then it's like everybody else on the team are people that used to wrestle for NXT. And Jakara Jackson, no disrespect
Yeah,
to Jakara Jackson, and I know she had just got the TNA and she kind of been doing her thing, but she should not be on this team. You cannot tell me that they couldn't have called up the beautiful people or
right.
Awesome Kong, Mickey James. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have did something to make this match like make it an original TNA team, and it's a WWE team, and it's messed up a little bit.
One thing I did notice with the men's match, the TNA versus NXT,
Mm-hmm.
why isn't Obafemi in that match?
That's a good question. You know what? I think with him taking that loss, you know how they do you know how they do with Roman after he take a loss, he might
Yeah.
take time off for a minute.
Well,
I've been
I think it's something else. I think he's going. I think he's going main roster.
I
I
would
think he's got. I think he's going to answer Sami Zayn's open challenge on one of these shows coming up.
hey, that would be interesting. That would be interesting because I think at this point it's really nothing left for Obafemi to do, you know,
Yeah, and
unless he go for the TNA championship because he's already been the
yeah,
NXT championship.
he's probably the most main roster ready guy in NXT anyway.
Yeah,
He can talk. He looks like $1,000,000, and he can go. So I'd bring him up, and then if I was Triple H, I'd showcase him for 2 weeks, and then you'd forget about him.
all right, you got any thoughts, Aaron?
Yeah, I think with Obi, he's probably one of the first guys in a while where he's actually being used in NXT the way NXT is supposed to be used. We're talking about possibly the Hardys being the NXT tag champs. Uh, NXT, I thought, if I'm not mistaken, was like a feeder system, or it was supposed to be quote developmental. So, what are you really doing? Kind of putting them in the mix. I understand giving them the accolade of that title, but do they need it? And like John, like you pointed out, they kind of booked themselves into a corner. They kind of have to win because they
They
already
have
have
to.
a match for the titles a month later. So you kind
Yeah,
of put them in a weird spot. And I'm going to kind of go back to the AEW TNA argument. It was main roster. As much as we don't want to say it, NXT is the minor league of WWE, and that's who is beating essentially TNA. So it's making them look less than, not more than. It's not doing anything for them. Where on the AEW side, it elevated them because they were eye to eye. Because right now, if it's a TNA versus NXT thing, NXT's winning,
yeah,
right? And
definitely.
they're the minor league of the WWE. So what does that say about TNA? I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. If TNA's in there, they should be winning their titles because those guys are already established stars or wrestlers. A lot of those guys have been doing it for years. And then we
That's
got a
true.
lot of these young guys who are, I guess they're getting the rub from these TNA guys, but it's just not what I envisioned and
Yeah,
not what NXT is,
they're
you
getting the
know?
rub right before WWE buys TNA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
And real quick, just some breaking news. The Hardys just beat Dark State, and they are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. So
Where they're at.
Whoa.
I know the future.
That's crazy. There you go. But like John said, you brought up a really good point. They set up a match for titles a month after a unification match.
Yeah.
What does that say? And that's
Yeah.
happening now in 2025. That's crazy.
Yep. Definitely. So since you guys been doing your podcast, what has been the favorite storyline for you to talk about on your show this year so far?
We didn't
Um,
really talk about much new stuff. I think probably if we're going to talk like newer stuff, it was WrestleMania time. And then we went to Dynasty. So that was kind of a hot topic because they had it in
yeah.
Philly and we were right outside there. So we talked a lot about that. But since we've been doing the podcast, I think my personal favorite storyline was Swerve and Hangman and John Moxley, the whole title, and even throwing Will Ospreay in there. I'm the AEW guy in our group. John, Fran, they're more WWE guys. I'm more of an AEW guy.
Okay.
So that to me, I think has been the story of the year. Is just that how the title was held up, and it was a really bad storyline that turned into some people are arguing the best storyline of the year. So that's,
Yeah.
for my opinion, that's where we're at. We mostly talk nostalgia, but we did talk heavy about WrestleMania. We did have predictions for it, and we hit the nail on the head for most of it, honestly.
Yeah, I
Even the
mean
heel
we
turn.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called that the
Yeah.
Cena heel turn. I called that ahead of time. That was
Yeah.
um for me, like, it's hard to say what my favorite storyline has been. I tell you what, it's not. It's not Jey Uso. It's not LA Knight. Um, it's not Charlotte Flair. I mean, that's where I can start. I did love the Jacob Fatu debut on WWE. I was very pleased with all of that happening because we loved him from MLW.
MLW, bro. He's a
I
man.
mean, he was great.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I also want to say probably my favorite storyline this year is the growth of the Callis family. And I'm not even a big AEW guy. I just love the Don Callis family. I don't know. That's my thing. Kyle Fletcher is phenomenal. Takeshita is phenomenal. Like, these guys are so good and they're so much fun to watch.
And they just
And
added Andrade last week.
I
Mhm.
know they sure did.
Mhm.
Wearing his church pants and a beater.
At least they didn't have suspenders and a top hat.
I mean, his pants were all the way up to his belly button too. He was looking a little bit ridiculous, but
Yeah.
So, Aaron, real quick, I know you're a big AEW guy. Like, what are your
Mhm.
thoughts on the state of AEW so far? You know, from where they are, from where they started in 2019 to where they are right now.
I mean, I could just say HBO Max, and that could be it. That's crazy. They're on HBO Max, bro. They did a pay-per-view on HBO Max. So that alone, the streaming service thing is bananas. But the storyline stuff, the stories, that was a big thing that the internet, and it's very divided, which is kind of weird. I'm one of the guys that's like, if it's wrestling, I'm in. I just want to watch good wrestling. I don't care who's on. Just show me good shit. Put good stuff on the screen and I'm in. And I think the storytelling in AEW has gotten way better. And I think, unfortunately, the fans focus more on the backstage shit instead of what they're seeing on screen, and that gets in the way of their judgment. I think that happens a lot on both sides. But I just think the storytelling is just through the roof. Good point is Will Ospreay and Swerve are on the shelf.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
can't even tell. The stories have been so good. Like they know how to tell stories. I mean, Jericho isn't even on TV. I mean, that whole storyline with him isn't there. Like that's a main event guy who built the company, not even there right now. So they got a
that was
lot of
that was my biggest complaint with AEW was I said that there's no storyline at first. It
mhm.
was it was a good wrestling match. Yeah, cool. But what's going to make me come back and watch next week? I need to know what's happening. I need something to follow through to get invested in. And yes, as of late, they have immensely improved their storytelling abilities, and these rivalries have been way better. And another problem I had with AEW at first was they had all this talent on the roster, and it just seemed like every guy had like 13 managers down there with them, and it annoyed the crap out of me. Every match was like so convoluted because they were trying to get these guys screen time.
Mhm.
Now you have a couple of that going on, but that goes on in every company.
yeah.
But it's less often now, and when it does happen, there's usually a point to it rather than just getting somebody on TV like it seemed at first.
Definitely. So, Aaron, I think it was last week, Tony Khan announced that they're gonna have AEW women's tag team titles. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that we have enough belts, but I mean, from a business point of view, you're going to be able to sell action figures. You're going to be able to sell those belts. You're going to be able to create teams and more merchandise. So, from a company standpoint, I totally understand it. And at the end of the day, they're going to end up having great matches because they're already starting to build the factions with the teams. That's the one thing I will say, that when they do something like this, when they roll out a new belt or roll out a new championship, there's a plan. You can tell that this was planned out. We go back to this pay-per-view or this PLE or whatever you even call the NXT specials they do now, it's not really planned out, obviously, if you're putting on a title match that you kind of are giving away the the ending on based on the match that's booked a month out. So the booking behind this is probably going to be really, really good, and they're going to probably make a story out of it, because that's what they do with pretty much anything like that. They don't just do it to do it. I think that's kind of what the tag team situation was in WWE when they rolled it out. Because do you guys remember who the first champions were and how that situation went down? Because I don't really remember.
The
It
first
was kind of,
women's tag champions
yeah,
in WWE.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it was that.
That,
Was it the Iconics?
yeah, that's what I want to say.
there you go. It might
I
have
think
been.
it was them. Yeah,
It might have been. But
I think
that's my
that's who it
point.
was.
Like it can kind of fall flat if it's not done right. So that's really going
For
to be
sure.
it. Is if they build a story out of it and then they continue to build on it. It doesn't just get buried in the background. But from a business point of view, it makes sense. It's money. It's merchandise money. They're gonna kill with it, with the kids that want to buy the girls tag team titles and the the toys and all the shirts and stuff to be able to sell. It'll be good for them.
yeah. And I think also AEW's women's tag team division will be better than WWE's. Like you'll actually have teams, you'll
Yep.
have actual teams at AEW rather than WWE that has maybe no more than 3 or 4 teams, and
Yeah.
then the rest of the roster is just women that's just put together or whatever. But I know a
That's
lot
the
of people.
WWE. Just throw tag teams together.
Yeah,
Just throw names at a wall, and if 2 of them stick, we'll put them as a team.
right.
It's
Yeah,
in men's and women's division. It's just whatever.
right. But I definitely think that I know a lot of people say AEW got a lot of belts, but I think the women's I think they'll do something with their women's tag team division.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it'll definitely go further than what WWE has done with their women's tag division.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
since we're talking about it, who what's your prediction? Who's going to be the first AEW women's tag champs?
You know what? I'm just gonna throw a team out there: Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Aren't
That's what
they
I
a
was gonna
tag
say.
team?
Yeah, they're building a faction right now with them, and
Yeah,
I think those two are. I was gonna say the same thing, bro. I think
that's.
they're building to that.
I
Because
think it's going to be Bane and Ford.
yeah, it could be one of
That's
could be
that's what
them.
I think. They need to put a
Yeah,
title on that Megan Bane. She's an animal. She's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. So, do you both always agree on wrestling takes, or do you find yourselves debating often?
Yeah, I largely disagree with what Aaron says. Almost even just in real life things too. Everything he says sounds stupid to me. Um, but he's still my friend. I still love him. He's still my brother in of discussion. But yeah, we disagree a lot on wrestling takes. Um, but I also am the type of person that I can sit back and disagree with you, but understand why you feel that way. So
Yeah,
you'll see that a lot with us. He'll say something, and I'll be like, "Oh, I totally get why you feel that way. I don't though." And it's kind of how it goes down with a lot of our stuff. For instance, right now we're doing a 4-episode series, the Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores, where we take 16 categories. Each episode is 4 categories, and we do our Mount Rushmore of each category.
okay.
And we are way off. I mean, there's a couple things that are not debatable, like the best gimmick match of all time. It's the Royal Rumble. You know, you can't disagree with it. It's the best gimmick match ever. So there's certain things that we're 100% on the same page on, and then there's other stuff that we're way off. And then I'm also the kind of guy who, because I know what answers these guys are probably going to pick, I'm going off the wall with my answers. I'm bringing something different to the table just for the discussion's sake, and they all make sense. They're just contrarian answers.
Definitely. So real quick, so you guys, I know you talk about your Mount Rushmore. So real quick, if we did have you guys did like a Mount Rushmore of wrestling, like your own personal Mount Rushmore?
We did that in some shorts Um, we did babyface and heels in our episodes, but Mount Rushmore, our personal Mount Rushmores, we have talked about it. I mean, it. If we want to go ahead and do it, I got Mr. Perfect.
Okay.
That's he's on there for me. Bret Hart, which I know he's going to be on Aaron's as well. And then I'm going to go. I have to say Hogan, even though his beer tastes like shit. We're putting him on there.
It's bad.
It's awful. Don't even bother drinking. It's
Terrible.
like,
It's terrible.
it's so bad. It, oh, anyway, I'm sorry. And then the fourth spot's always so difficult because you have three or four guys that you're thinking of, and it's tough to put one on and or take one off. Um, I'd hate to say it. It's probably Cena. I'm not even really a Cena fan, but it's got to be him on there.
That's fair. And you know
Mine's
what? I think Cena is gonna be one of those guys that nobody is gonna want to put him in the GOAT conversation, but he definitely deserves to be in the GOAT conversation. Like what he's done in WWE has just been crazy. He's won every belt except for the Intercontinental title. You know, he helped elevate the United States Championship when he won it during the Open Challenge. Like, and he's
Well,
been. Oh,
it's
go
funny
ahead.
you say it. It's because we actually had a discussion recently. It's who you grew up on. It's who
Yeah,
you're usually putting on there. So
yeah,
like we're talking the Jordan versus LeBron debate. I'm never going to say LeBron's better than Jordan. I grew up on Jordan.
yeah, yeah.
LeBron and I are the same age. We graduated high school the same year. I'm not. He's not the GOAT to
Right,
me. You know what I mean? So everybody, different age ranges, are going to have different answers.
definitely, definitely. Aaron, real quick, who's your on your Mount Rushmore wrestling?
Yeah, so we broke our categories down. Like we got workers, baby faces, heels. For me, when it comes to my Mount Rushmore, it's who I can just put on a match and watch and really enjoy. All
Yeah,
right, so Bret Hart is number one for me. Mick Foley, anything Mankind, Mick Foley, anything WCW, anything of his, I'm good. You put it on and I'll watch it. Stone Cold,
oh yeah.
absolutely.
Stone Cold. Sorry.
I mean, how can you not? And Chris Jericho.
Okay.
Jericho, he's been a top guy for 3 or 4 decades, whatever it is. God's fucking great.
Yeah, definitely. So, real quick, my Mount Rushmore, definitely got to have Hogan on there, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ric Flair,
Mm,
uh, just because of not what he brought to wrestling, just pop culture, period. Like, you
mm,
know, he got a rap song named after him. You know what I'm saying? So like his impact, not just on wrestling and pop culture, and still doing it at this age is just crazy. And that last spot, it was tough. It was between Undertaker, The Rock, and Shawn Michaels, but I'm gonna have to give it to the Undertaker just on the longevity, the WrestleMania streak, just the aura of the Undertaker character and how long that he made that character his real life. Like, you know what I'm saying? He walked around as the Undertaker and just to see what that character evolved to through the years, from the dead man to the American badass to back to kind of like a mixture of the American badass
mhm.
and the dead man. Like, he's done it all. And that's like one of those characters like Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair. Undertaker, his character would be one of those characters that you'll never forget.
Yeah, timeless.
Definitely. Um, so who are some wrestlers or promotions that deserve more spotlight right now?
Go ahead, John.
I mean, I got a ton of them. Battlefield Pro Wrestling, run by Alpha Junior. That's out of Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania. Phenomenal stuff. Everybody there treat you like your family when you're in the building. Nobody, looks past you. They shake hands. They say hello to you. All the talent, all the ring workers, the bellman, to everybody. It's crazy. Like, it's a real personal feeling when you're there. Battleground Championship Wrestling, ran by Timothy Embler. It's in Philadelphia, at the 2300 Arena. They do a show probably once every 3 months, I'd say.
The
From what I've been
2300, by the
seeing,
way, that's the old ECW arena. They just renamed it, but it's the old ECW arena. So we go there. It's crazy because I mean, they just did a residency for AEW there. So when we go to see that
Yeah.
indie show there, it's like going into a time machine because the setup's the same. It really is. Like the ring is in the same spot. The old pillars that were there that you would see on TV, or they're still there. It's crazy. All they did was paint it up. So it's
yeah,
wild when we go to those shows in particular.
That's what's
I mean,
up.
I got more. There's House of Glory, LPW. A friend of ours actually wrestles for them. Corporal Punishment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good guy. Let's see. And I know I'm leaving someone. Oh, Austin Bayless out there, Central Empire.
Yeah.
Just really good stuff, man. I've been watching up a lot of Central Empire stuff. I became familiar with their photographer Clint, through the internet, and he showed me some stuff, and I'm hooked. It's great. I've enjoyed every moment of it. That's just a few I could think of off the top of my head.
So,
What do you got out your way?
well, we got. I know one of the shows that I've been to a couple times. SCW, Superior Championship Wrestling. You got Rock of Champions. Oh no, is it Ring of Champions? Sorry, Ring of Champions. That's out here. I'm still getting, still getting into the independent scene, doing podcasting since I started doing this. But SCW definitely the shows that I've been to, they put on some good shows. Ring of Champions put on some good shows, and yeah, those are. I'm still a rookie when it comes to the indies, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's slept on, isn't it? Indie wrestling
yes,
slept on. It's a whole vibe, man. Like it's different. Like when we go to these conventions and these indie shows, it's like you're there with friends. Like it's
yeah,
different. You go to a football game, there's tension because it's a team versus a team. But when you go
yeah,
to like a wrestling event, like y'all are there for the same thing. So it's just like everybody's just fucking so excited to be there. So it's a whole different vibe, man. So everybody out there, go check out some indie wrestling. It's a cheaper alternative, especially
It's
I was
now with
about to
WWE tickets. It's a
say.
way cheaper alternative. I mean, shit, you
Yeah,
get every show if you want, at the rate they're going. So
right,
yeah,
get a yearly membership instead of going
mm,
to Raw.
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I was just about to say that because like getting a ticket to WWE is like almost the cost of buying a car now. So
yeah.
yeah,
It's crazy. So WrestleMania 40, Francisco, our partner, his son and my son, we all went to WrestleMania 40, night 2 only.
okay,
And that was, I mean, because it's a once in a lifetime thing for me, and I wanted to do it so badly, I put up the money to make it happen. But that was even expensive for one night for two people. It was $1,000. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
that's it's crazy. But
Well, TKL wants their cut now, so whew, it's
oh yeah,
going up.
yeah. They trying to get all that money back that they spent
Yeah.
buying the
Yes.
company.
Hmm.
So like, what do you think like going forward? Just the state of PLEs and just ticket prices, because like for instance, WrestleMania is coming back to Las Vegas, and after they go to Las Vegas, they're going to Saudi Arabia for for WrestleMania. So after the Saudi Arabia WrestleMania, and they done made all this money, what's next? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the two places that that are going to be at the next two WrestleManias are the money makers. You know what I'm saying? Vegas and of course Saudi Arabia. So my thing is, what do WWE does with WrestleMania after Vegas and Saudi Arabia? Because if you put it in, I don't know,
London.
Tennessee is not going to do more than Vegas or Saudi Arabia. So it's like we all know it's a money thing at this point. So,
Well, they're so petty. They're so petty that they're going to go to London and try to outsell AEW. They're going to bring WrestleMania. I feel like WrestleMania is going to happen in a foreign market a lot more often now. We'll get London. We'll get, I don't know, Paris.
Yeah.
You'll get something like that. A few of those just to get that money grab. But I mean, you can't go wrong with the big cities in the United States. We have so many big cities and so many fans everywhere. You got to do it. You got to do one in Florida. I'll tell you this: WrestleMania 40 Night 2. It was, I want to say it was April 3rd. I was freezing my ass off, and it was crazy. And I actually had to take my jacket off and give it to my son because he's over here turning blue. But an outdoor arena in the Northeast in early April, it's still cold.
Yeah.
So they have to focus down south in the big American cities where you're looking at, you could go to Dallas again. Dallas was probably a great place for them to go. I mean, California.
Because when they did WrestleMania in Jersey, and it's just like, come on, y'all can't do a WrestleMania, like you said, in the Northeast in early April, because even though we're spring, and like in my area,
it ain't sprung yet.
Yeah, it's not spring yet. The weather really don't change here in
Well, you
Michigan.
shouldn't do anything in New Jersey, by the way.
Yeah.
Just stay out of New Jersey.
Definitely.
It sucks.
But like the warm weather really don't change for real until like June. And it's like doing something like that in April, like that's hit or miss. Like, good thing when we had WrestleMania in Detroit in WrestleMania for WrestleMania 23, it was at Ford Field, and
you got a dome.
So that was cool. So I think that if they do it in the Northeast or Central states like that, it should definitely be in a dome stadium.
I'll tell you this. I think that if TKO is still in charge after Saudi, that's the last WrestleMania you see in the United States. I don't think it's coming back. I think that turns into their international show. And it might not go to Saudi, but you'll see WrestleMania London, WrestleMania Australia, because it's a money thing. And there's more money in doing a stadium show overseas because it's not just a show. They're not going to be there for one show. They're going to do the Raw after. They're going to do SmackDown. They're going to do NXT. So they're going to get a week or two out of it. So from TKO's point of view, the company, I think if Saudi, you sold WrestleMania to another country, so they're not coming back. I think that's just my opinion. I think after this WrestleMania, they're happening in every other country.
There's rumors that they're planning on doing 2 WrestleManias every year. So they could do that. One is overseas and one's in the United States. You do 2, even though it's stupid to do 2 in a year because it's WrestleMania. So that kind of ruins the whole. We actually talked about WrestleMania season, like that whole time from Rumble until WrestleMania is a point where sports fans, they don't have much going on. So the casual fan tunes in. That's why WrestleMania is so big, because when it's happening, there's no other things happening. So the casual fan's like, okay, let me turn it on. Let me go see what's going on. And then it's advertised because they usually have a celebrity match as well. So it's in the perfect time of year to have it. But I do think that, if they're probably going to do that, and it's going to be overseas a lot more.
Yeah, I just see it that way. WrestleMania has evolved so much just in like 10 years. Like we had a fucking 7-hour WrestleMania. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 7 hours. That didn't even include pre-show. Like, so we've gone a long way. And even this last year, they took the idea of 2 nights from New Japan. New Japan's been doing Wrestle Kingdom for 2 nights for a while. So they took that idea from them, which is a smart move. But now they cut WrestleMania down to, it was like 5 matches each night. You could have did it in one night. So like
Yep.
it's just it's changing so much, and with TKO and the way that it's going, I feel like, yeah, WrestleMania is gone. After Vegas, we've lost it in the United States, in my opinion. If TKO still owns it.
You know what? I agree, and it's messed up because it's like a lot of people can't take their families to shows like how they used to. A lot of
Yeah.
people can't go to shows like how they used to, and it's like it's just messed up that it's turning into a money grab now,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's just I just wish that some way that it gets back to being more for the fans, but like you
I
guys said, with all this money that they making, I don't see it either.
I
And
preach it
here's
all
the
the
other
time.
thing too, real
Bring back
quick.
house shows.
I
Bring
was
back
just gonna
house
say,
shows.
they're
Yeah,
not running them. They're not running them. That's it. You know, as much as you say that, that's overhead. That's more money spending. That's more. You have to put a whole nother staff on to now go on the road, and you have to have road agents, and it's just more money involved. They're about making it faster and quicker. And the house show business is dead. They haven't done house shows in so long.
Well, they're
I
$3
think the
billion in debt. So yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. So so keep the costs low, and hey, if you want to buy WrestleMania, it's for sale. I think that's where they're at.
right. So have you guys had any memorable or funny moments while recording your podcast?
Funny moment. I knocked everything down and broke a bottle in the middle of the podcast one time. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, a bottle of wine.
Bottle of wine everywhere. It was all over
Yeah,
the place. Looked like somebody died. Um, Memorable. Our interview with Gary Wolf was really, really cool.
yeah.
I want to say at first he seemed like, I don't know, he seemed a little bit uptight, but then we started kind of joking with him. And Aaron had some really great questions about his book, and you could see he loosened up, and it turned out to be a really cool interview. And then other than that, we have fun. No matter, I like to equate our show. This is how I tell somebody who hasn't seen it. You familiar with Drink Champs?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're the wrestling Drink Champs.
Oh, cool.
That's
Yeah, those
that's
guys
basically,
they just be straight chill. You know, they had they liquor. You know, hang
yeah.
on
We're
easy.
having our drinks. We're talking wrestling, and we're just enjoying each other's company. And
Yeah,
I mean, at our age, it's another reason why we decided to do a podcast. It's hard. We all have children. We all have jobs. It's hard to get together as much as we'd like to.
yeah,
So doing the podcast gets us together. We get to talk about stuff that we really enjoy, and we get to do it with our best friends. I mean, I don't think it gets any better than that.
yeah. And you know what? That's what like when I started podcasting and I started meeting other podcasters and a lot of these guys that I became cool with to the point I talk to them more than I talk to people in my own home state or hometown or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So, you know, whenever I have them on, you know, guys from WSN or, you know, you guys or any other podcaster, it's cool because we all talking about something that we're fans of, and that's wrestling. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's just a cool thing, and especially like you said, we all working, we all got families, and it's just to take that, you know, hour or two to just sit with your peoples and talk wrestling, and it's cool. It's real cool.
Yeah,
I
even like lit match, like that's a segment that I kind of came up with where when it's a late night and like you just want to hang out, might roll something up, might pour yourself a drink and put some on. So
Yeah,
that's what I do. That's what I do with you guys, and we record
definitely.
it. So we'll pick a match that we're kind of bullshitting about, something that maybe they never seen, something old, whatever, and we'll watch it and we'll just talk about it. And at that time, it's a lit match because we're usually pretty lit at that point. And the
Yeah.
we've gotten a little bit too lit sometimes. And
yeah,
that
I say
content,
some stuff I
but that's
probably
good content.
shouldn't.
But that's the fun part. That's what it's all about. It's all about having some fun and watching some wrestling.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, what advice would you give to someone thinking about starting their own wrestling podcast?
Real quick,
Do it.
yeah, do it, but have an idea. You don't want to shoot, aim, fire. You want to aim, and then you know what I mean. Like you really want to get it right. You don't want to just go in and start slinging. You want to have an idea, have a segment. Maybe plan out how long you want to go, and then have a good idea. Have a good idea and a plan. That's the number one thing I can say. If you don't have a plan, you're not going to go anywhere. My last show, I don't know how many podcasts I did, John. You would probably know better than me, but I've probably done, I don't know, four
Four or
400
five.
episodes of other, between my own show, my shows with co-hosts, whatever. But you got to have a plan, a format, what you want to do, and you have to know what you want to say before you say it.
Yeah.
Don't go into it just kind of like, all right, we'll wing it. Have a point you want to make and know how you're going to get to that point. It's
When,
kind of like
when we were in
cutting a promo.
Yeah, when we were in high school, Aaron actually hosted a radio show as well. So he like when Francisco and I said, "Hey, we should do a podcast." It was a no-brainer to contact Aaron. He
It's your
loves
boy.
wrestling. We love
It's
watching
your
it with him.
boy. Yeah.
That's our boy. He's the structure guy.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that has all these wild ideas rolling around in my head, and I shoot them out my mouth, and Aaron writes it down and figures out how we can do it. So and it works really well. And also like I don't even know how to explain. Like he said, you definitely want to have an idea, but also don't be afraid to ask other podcasters for advice. I've reached out to several different podcasts just to see like, hey, what streaming, how do you stream? What kind of cameras are you using? This kind of thing, like anything that can help you make your show a little bit better, visually, audio wise, or even like we did here when I reached out to you, a collaboration here, because we're all fans. It's helping everyone involved. And it's also bringing up fun and interesting conversations that I wouldn't be talking to somebody in Detroit if I didn't message you and we would be talking. You know what I mean? You're halfway across the country. How else would we be having this conversation?
We love the same shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about.
We do. And then Royce the 5'9" is the best rapper of all time from Detroit. So
Royce is nice. Royce is nice. Not an Eminem fan, or
I like angry Eminem.
I am.
I like angry Eminem. Like kill you, Eminem, that kind of stuff. When he was mad, when he was
on
mad,
drugs. When he was on drugs.
Okay. So Royce was better when he was alcoholic too, and now he's trying too hard. So, I mean, it's Eminem. He's always going to be good, but when I'm looking at Detroit rappers personally, it's Royce, it's Elzai. Who else do I mean?
Big Proof.
I mean, I could listen to Big Sean in small doses.
mm-hmm.
Trick, like those kind of guys.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite guys out there.
Yeah, I'm a Royce the 5'9" fan. Slum Village.
Loves it.
If you get a chance to listen to some Jay Dilla beats, you gotta listen.
You got all the Jay. I got every Jay Dilla album you could think of. Like,
yeah, shit, bro. Yeah, it's definitely a good hip hop scene in Detroit, and we some of the rappers that we got now, like Cash Doll, Sada Baby, T Grizzly, they doing their thing. I'm way older than what they are, and what
same, it's hard.
But I'm still gonna give them their props, So they doing big things here for our city. So what can fans expect next from the Brothers of Discussion? Any upcoming episodes, guests, or projects that you guys got coming up or excited about?
We have a few things lined up. More than likely, in a couple weeks, we're going to be going to Battleground Championship Wrestling event, and we'll probably do tons of content about that. We got Clint Dye coming on for an interview soon. I'm still working on scheduling more interviews. I have a lot of messages out. I've been talking back and forth with quite a few people. Also, with more collaboration. I mean, I was just talking with Professor Bear,
Cool.
about doing something with him here soon. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the horizon. We're finishing up our Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores. We got a lot of interesting stuff. We
Yeah, I
actually
think
we actually might be doing commentary for an event in December. Be the commentary team. So
Oh, sweet.
should be fun.
yeah, I could do a little play-by-play. My man could do some color here. We'll see how that goes.
That's
But
what's up.
yeah, no, the I think the Mount Rushmore episodes will be fun. Like you said, the interviews, the collabs are fun, and then we're always open to ideas for lit matches. So anybody out there that has a shitty match they want us to watch, because that's the fun stuff to watch. It's cool to watch a good match, but when someone's like, "Oh, this match was terrible," I'm like, "Yo, I want to see that shit. Show it to me. Tell me when it was. Let's bring it up and let's watch it." So that's what I'm looking forward to, is just watching some old wrestling. We were talking about rap music. I like my rap like I like my wrestling. I like my old shit. So
Yeah.
I'll be watching a lot of that nostalgia. I'll still throw in some AEW and some WWE, and I'll watch the shit coming up. But
Aaron
that's
has the
kind of, I
worst.
think,
Aaron has the worst taste in rap music.
he's
It's
full of
awful.
shit. He's full of shit. Don't listen to
Awful.
him. Don't
who
listen to him.
When
who is
we're on
some
a
of your
road trip,
favorite?
I'm like, what are you doing? Just hand me the thing. We change it. Every now and then you'll get a good song. Like one out of 15 is good, and the rest of it's like all of today's music is garbage, pretty much.
Mhm.
He picks all the garbage songs from back when we were kids and plays those.
He's full of
So
shit.
who are some of your favorites, Aaron, as far as rappers?
Drake,
Okay.
Wayne, Jay. That's really just, it's like them three and 2 Chainz. That's my guy.
Okay,
Those four in kind of heavy rotation.
so those four, I'll listen to Jay-Z. Drake. One time I was listening to Drake when I was in the shower. Turns out I never turned the shower on. I was just crying and washed myself with tears. It was awful.
So full of
You
shit.
must have been one. You must have been listening to one of his emotional songs when he was
Uh,
in the feelings or whatever.
Aren't all of them other than I'm going in? Every Drake song it's just whiny crybaby bitch shit.
So to answer your question, Mike, no, we don't agree on everything, obviously, because
Well, fellas, I appreciate you coming by. We talking wrestling. Real
yeah.
quick before we get out of here, we know Crown Jewel is this Saturday. Real quick, just want to get your predictions on the champion versus champion match. The men's match and the women's match. For the women, you got Tiffany Stratton versus Stephanie Vaquer. And of course, the men, you got Seth Rollins versus Cody. Real quick, who you guys got winning both of those matches?
I see Seth Rollins beating Cody Rhodes with some sort of interference. Not even if it's division, maybe Drew McIntyre will get involved and Seth will finally get the win versus Cody that he hasn't gotten yet. And that could set up something for down the road because those two they're not done with each other.
Yeah.
As far as the women's, if Tiffany Stratton beats Stephanie Vaquer, they're stupid.
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer right now, she's probably one of the hottest things on the main roster for women. She needs to continue this hot streak.
Yeah, I
That's
definitely agree. What's your predictions, Aaron?
I think Seth makes sense because I think Cody can bounce back better from a loss than Seth, because I feel like Seth just kind of loses more. And I also think you kind of have to elevate that title a little bit, just because in my opinion, they should just have the one world title.
I
I
agree.
don't, like they just took it from Roman essentially, because he had both titles, and they were like, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna make another world title in the other. Like what? It doesn't, like it just doesn't make any sense. So like, I
Yeah,
don't know. It really should be a unification match as opposed to a champion versus champion. But I
yeah.
feel like Seth is probably who's going to win it and who makes the most sense. And I like the steam behind the new champ, but I like me some Stratton, so I got to go with her.
That's what's up. I think I agree with both of y'all when we talk about the men's match. I think Seth, and just really right now with what he's trying to build with the Vision faction,
Mm-hmm.
you want to get as many wins as you possibly can to make your faction look strong. So I definitely think that he needs that going into this match. And of course, and like you guys said, Cody can bounce back from a loss quick. He's the John Cena of this generation right
He's
now.
Teflon. Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
So it's just
Yeah.
like whatever loss he take, he's gonna bounce back from it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna be okay. And for the women, I'm gonna go with Stephanie Vaquer. I think she's like the hottest as far as like talent. She's the hottest woman on the roster right now. I think Naomi was before, she left, because of her
Mm-hmm.
pregnancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer right now, and just everything that she's been working on, just, with her English and just trying to get better just as a wrestler, I think she deserves it right now. And Tiffany Stratton to be all right. She
I
already.
just I kind of feel like if you have Vaquer beat Io Sky, who's arguably the best female wrestler on the planet,
Yeah.
she can't go and lose to Tiffany Stratton right after that. It
You got
just
to
it doesn't.
remember. You got to remember though. This is Crown Jewel. This is like Bizarro World. So like,
Yeah.
whatever happens over there, it's like Vegas. It like stays over there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like most of the time, the storylines do matter over there, but they're putting on a show for a sold country. It's in my opinion, those shows have a little bit more of a different feel to them. They're not as important. Just my opinion. It really doesn't matter what comes out of this. It's not going
You
to really
mean the
affect
Team
anything.
Hogan versus Team Flair wasn't important?
That's true. I should not talk about such a fantastic historical match at Crown Jewel.
Oh, and real quick, one more match. And I think this might end up being probably the match of the night. Um, we see it one last time. John Cena versus AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is a match that could go either way. Um, but I'm just gonna throw some. I'm just gonna say Cena's gonna win. But
Cena's definitely going to win
yeah, definitely.
because AJ said that next year he's retiring. He'll get his wins all next year.
Yeah.
Right now, Cena, him even losing to Lesnar, the way he lost to Lesnar was stupid. But they should have Cena like what has he got, like 4 more dates, 4 more matches.
I think
He's
so.
not he can't lose, especially over there because what they just got cable like 3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? They thought they're watching. They're what it's like the movie freaking Euro Trip. You ever see that? They go to
No,
they go to some foreign country and the guy's like, "Hey, where's the beef, my friend?" And it's like 30 years after that Wendy's commercial came out. He's like, "Yes, we just got TV." Like, no, it's they're over there just now finding out who. That's why they wanted Undertaker. That's why they wanted Goldberg. That's why they wanted Shawn Michaels. These guys who were way past their prime, who couldn't even actually put on a decent match. They wanted them over there because that's what they know. I think now more because Saudi's about to buy WWE. I'm telling you, they're buying it from TKO. It's going to happen.
you know what? Saudi just bought EA Sports. So you know what? And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that down the line. And surprisingly, Crown Jewel this year is in Australia. And
That's right.
yeah.
It is.
So that was interesting, and it's gonna be interesting to see that if Crown Jewel is gonna be in other countries going forward, or is it gonna go back to Saudi Arabia when they do it in 2026? Aaron, real quick, what's your prediction on the AJ Cena match?
First of all, I'm glad that they're giving it to the fans because it's rare, and I hate to say that, like for WWE to like listen to the fans, but like they asked for it and they literally got the match they asked for, which again, it's something that doesn't usually happen. And I feel like that's probably AJ's best rivalry in
in
WWE
WWE.
was Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it's really fitting. And I'm excited to see it, and I hope AJ pulls it out just from me being an AJ fan, but from a booking point, it
Well,
makes sense to let Cena go over and ride off into the sunset. Come on. He's not putting a new guy over. It'd be different if he was putting somebody over. It makes sense if he was wrestling like if they brought Austin Theory back and they tried to push him and he got a match with Cena. It makes sense. It makes sense for him to beat
yeah.
Cena because you're trying to put him over on the way out, but that's not the case here. This is
So
the goodbye. This is the general, signing off and taking one last tour. And I think that's the
real
cool way to
quick,
do it.
Yeah.
on his farewell tour for Cena, who's the one match that he should have had that he didn't have, in your opinion?
Probably Angle.
Well, Angle's not active. I'm talking about
Yeah.
people that he
Oh,
actually could have the
oh,
match with.
oh.
To
Like
me, it's
right
the
now,
Miz. I'm sorry, who'd you say?
you talking about wrestlers right now?
Right now that are active. I feel like the Miz would have made sense to do early on.
The Miz, yeah, because Miz beat him at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and that was some of the Miz's best stuff was when he was beefing with Cena.
Yeah, that's true. Um, he hasn't had a match with Gunther yet.
That would be good.
That would
Mhm.
be good.
Gunther would smack the bald spot right back onto his head.
Yeah. Because he had matches with Roman. I don't know, maybe Solo Sikoa, because Solo did beat him a few
Squash him
months
too.
ago. That could be another one. Yeah, because I think he got like three or four dates left.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, and the last match it's got to be Lesnar again for him to get his get back before he goes. So
I've been reading the last couple of days that his last match is going to be against Gunther. That's what I've been hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So
makes sense.
It makes sense.
Put him over on the way out. It'll do more. It'll do more for Gunther. It will. I'm with you. I think that's the way. I think that's the way to go. And I think that's what I would rather see personally. If we're talking about Cena's farewell tour, I would rather see him wrestle newer guys that he's never wrestled, as opposed to him wrestling fucking Orton again or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather see him go up against Penta. I'd rather see him go up against Jacob Fatu. I'd rather see him go up against Braun Breaker. That's what I would rather see out of Cena on his way out. I think that'd be better. You want to put Breaker over? Have him fucking destroy Cena and send him on his way out.
Oh, they're gonna have him beat Lesnar. Breaker. They're gonna have him beat Lesnar.
Even better.
It's gonna be the hardest hitting. It's gonna be the hardest hitting 3-minute match in history.
Yeah, exactly. Lesnar's the modern Goldberg. Get him out of here. Tired of seeing his face.
So this just remember this one last thing. I don't know if you guys heard Santos Escobar. He is not re-signing with WWE, and they put him into the alumni section. Of course, that's where all the people that's not with the company anymore. Now that he's not there, where would you like to see Santos Escobar wrestle? AEW, TNA, New Japan? Real quick, what's y'all thoughts?
CMLL.
Okay.
Go down there. He obviously can do that style. He's a legend in lucha wrestling. It just makes sense for me. I wouldn't mind seeing him in AEW either, because I know that there's some guys over there that you have some really good matches with. Santos Escobar to me is one of the most underrated guys like that they had on the roster. I don't understand why they didn't use him.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why he didn't resign. From what I read, he wasn't satisfied. He didn't like that the direction they were going with his character. So he said, "Nah, I'm not resigning. I'm good."
I think it's his style. I think his style doesn't the way he wrestled because he was King Cuerno in Lucha
Lucha
Underground.
Underground.
Okay.
So I think his style sometimes that style doesn't transition over to WWE, and I think
Yeah.
that's why his style just didn't work because he wrestled way better everywhere else. I think that's the case goes for a lot of guys like that. I think Swerve is a good example of that. I think when he came
Yeah.
over, I think his style for some reason just didn't match. It didn't. He couldn't kind of go to that WWE way. So I think it's kind of the same thing with them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Once again, fellas, I appreciate you all coming on.
Yes, sir.
Have a cool conversation about wrestling.
Mhm.
Before we get up out of here, did you guys want to let the people know where they could find you and when is the next episode?
We got
Yes,
Brothers of Discussion podcast on Facebook, and then you got B.O.D. podcast on YouTube. Our episodes we put out an episode once a week. It's usually on Mondays when you usually post the episode.
Typically, we post our lit matches on Mondays. Episodes go live, go up on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So next episode will be up on Wednesday. I just posted a lit match yesterday, and I got a couple more coming up over the weekend. We got one that I just posted that John and I did the voiceover for Macho Man and who was it? Mean Gene Okerlund.
Mean Gene
So
and Macho Man,
we
yeah,
were
very
pretty
fun.
we were pretty lit for that. So that was pretty fun. So you guys would enjoy that. So yeah, just
Yeah,
keep.
Mike, that's something you'd really enjoy. We go ahead and watch old promos, and then we do the voices and just make up what they're saying. It's a good time.
I'm gonna have to check that out for sure.
Mhm.
For sure. Did you guys have anything else? Any plugs or shout outs?
Yeah, real quick, I want to shout out Gary Wolf. This is his book right here. We did an interview with him a few weeks ago. He was Pitbull #1 in ECW. You could buy his book directly from him. You could also go to Amazon, The Pitbull Unleashed by Gary Wolf. You can also check us out. You can buy Dubby, and 10% of that goes to us. John, you want to plug that little code
Yeah,
for him for?
W.GG. It's your taste bud's favorite energy drink. Bro, it's delicious. Like, I'm not even joking. B.O.D. podcast at checkout for 10% off. If you like energy drinks, it's good, and it helps us, and it helps you.
Yeah.
Helps you get through your day at your shitty job. So
Sweet. So want to thank everybody that watched the episode. It continues to watch Wrestling from the 313. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter /X. Go to YouTube. We hit 6,700 subscribers on YouTube, so
Let's get
happy
it.
about that. And just go to Google or Yahoo and just put in Wrestling from the 313, and you'll see a whole bunch of stuff pop up. And real quick, I want to give a shout out to Samp from the Samp and Chance podcast. He has an episode that he just posted up. He has an interview with WWE referee Jimmy Cordero. So
Word.
yeah,
right.
definitely
Word.
check that out. And once again, check out Wrestling from the 313. Check out WSN. Check out these guys, the Brothers of Discussion podcast, and just check out all the cool wrestling podcasts that's in the IWC. Make sure you support your local independent wrestling promotions, and just support wrestling in a whole. And as Joe Moreau would say, just shut up and enjoy pro wrestling. So for my guests, Aaron and John from the BOD podcast, I am your host, Mike D. We will be back next week for another episode of Wrestling from the 313. But until then, I will see you all later. Peace.
Love.